LIV has really put the entire game of golf in jeopardy, and we'll have to say that this Saudi-backed league has changed the entire landscape of the sport. The problem LIV created caused the PGA Tour to put a ban on all the LIV golfers from playing any major tournaments, but well, now there are questions about these players participating in the 2023 Masters at Augusta National. Will they be allowed? Let's find out what's happening in this video. Let's get started. First off, can these LIV stars participate in the 2023 Masters tournament? Apparently, yes. All the players who have joined the Saudi-funded league may participate fully in the tournament. Recently, Augusta National Chairman Fred Ridley was asked about this matter, and he confirmed on 20 December that the LIV Golf Tour players will also be playing in the 2023 Masters tournament without any restrictions. This ultimately indicates that we'll get to see players including Dustin Johnson, Phil Mickelson, Sergio Garcia, and Cameron Spieth competing for the green jacket at Augusta National. At the moment, 78 players have qualified for the tournament, and 16 out of them are from the LIV Tour. So yes, the ratio is in fact great there. Not to mention, 6 out of these 16 players have won championships at Augusta before. For those who don't know, Johnson, Garcia, Bubba Watson, Mickelson, Patrick Reed, and Charles Schwartzel are the past champions and are not new to the tournament at all. Next, let's examine what Augusta National said about the upcoming tournament. Since the players from the controversial tour are also playing, many questions have been asked about the matter, and Augusta National has responded to all of them as well. Recently, the Augusta National Stadium released a statement showing that they are more about the sport than the division between the leagues. In short, we think that Augusta National simply didn't want to be a part of this matter. In the statement, they mentioned that since the tournament's inception in 1934, their purpose has always been to benefit the sport itself. They also mentioned that every year in April, the Masters assembles the leading golfers from all around the world as they compete for the green jacket and make their careers go all the way up. They stated that the tournament provides a platform for fans to experience the dramatic moments in golf at the highest level and promotes the sport internationally. Augusta National also talked about all the players who become stars by playing at the golf club and how it'll continue to allow every talented player to do so. They say that these players are the reason why many new golfers are inspired to make it big and are working hard to reach the same level. Not just that, they also acknowledged how these players had supported the game at such a high level, which ultimately helped golf become more popular over the years. They also mentioned that the players playing at this tournament have always shown respect for those who came after them and have obviously blazed a trail for the next generations. They state that these talented golfers have made golf better than ever. Following up, here's what else they said. The statement was quite a long piece, and they really took it all the way to describe how every single golfer playing in the tournament is equal to them. In the statement, they talked about the actions that divided men's golf. They stated that these recent actions had diminished the virtues of the sport and the legacies of all those players who built it. According to them, they're in fact disappointed by everything that has happened so far, but they want to keep their tradition of bringing all the golfers together intact, and that's what will happen in April. Augusta National confirmed that the invitations had already been sent to all the eligible players that fall perfectly in the current criteria to compete in the 2023 Masters tournament. According to the tournament organizers, any changes to these invitations will be based on criteria changes, and if that happens, they'll be for future tournaments only. For this one, everything has already been settled. This means if the LIV golfers are to be banned from this tournament, the restrictions will only be applied in 2024. This year they are lucky and will definitely play. They state that the tournament has now reached a seminal point in the history of golf, and that they have faith that the sport will surely endure once again. Next, let's see how this helps LIV Golf. Now that the doors have been opened for the LIV golfers, you must be wondering if this would be helpful for the Saudi-funded league. Well, it looks like a big achievement for the controversial league, and we can't deny that this would help them. After all, this would allow the players to jump across the rebel circuit without any restrictions. Not to mention, one of the defectors would have still played even if the league wasn't allowed to participate. Yes, we're talking about Cameron Smith. After all, he's already been exempted for 5 years as he's the winner of one of golf's other 3 majors. These are all the players who were suspended by the PGA Tour and were also refused to be given world ranking points. Along with being an achievement for LIV, it's also a slap on what other leagues have been trying to do so that LIV golfers could stay away from every possible international tournament. It's true that the controversial league has lured several top golfers until recently, and it keeps on getting worse as time passes. But still, it doesn't look like LIV is anywhere near stopping. In fact, this might even make the path even more smooth for the Saudi-funded league, and more players might join it in the near future, because obviously they're still getting to play for major titles. Following up, Dame Laura Davies thinks that this is a good decision. 4-time major champion Dame Laura Davies also talked about this decision by Augusta National, and we actually agree with what he mentioned. According to him, it's pleasing news. After all, we'll get to see some of the best players playing together, albeit this whole mess is there thanks to the Saudi league and how it has divided golf. He also stated that it's in fact unfortunate to see all the problems because all that the fans want to see is watch their favorite players play together. He said that he considers himself a golf fan as well, and he's just happy to be able to see them all together. He also mentioned that if Augusta is doing this, it's very clear that the Open will also do the same. He said that it looks like the majors are actually standalone events, and these tournaments are free to make their own decisions. He said that he personally thinks that the decision was a good thing, and we'll see everyone play for the title in April. Not to mention, he also stated that even with this, golf has a long way to go. By long way, he meant that this one tournament wouldn't bring any harmony between the rival tours. He says that many believe things could get better if the CEO Greg Norman stepped aside and let someone else handle the position. Not to mention, Davies has a lot more to say. Davies seems to think it's Norman who's the main problem, and he's why the tours haven't settled the matter so far. According to him, there's a lot of talking, but they need to start talking about this matter with the PGA Tour first. But he says it doesn't seem like the right time to do so, and this might not happen for a while either, even if Greg Norman is part of this or not. He says he believes that the majors are doing great things by making such decisions. After all, the tours must protect their sponsors, field strength, and several other things. According to Davies, one shouldn't look at these decisions as any advancements towards peace. The tours aren't joining hands here. They are just forced into a situation where the players have to play together. But he's positive about it and stated that at least fans would be able to see these players together 4 times a year. Lastly, Mark Cannizzaro also thinks that it's a good decision. Mark Cannizzaro of the New York Post also wrote about this decision, and he thinks that the decision is actually great, especially for golf fans. He believes that fans would rather watch all the top players play together on the golf course than compete against each other in a courtroom. He states that there was never a moment when all of the past champions weren't going to be invited to the tournament, because the majors have nothing to do with taking sides. They don't need to side with LIV or the PGA Tour, as their primary concern is the players who have been champions before and the ones who can play a perfect game and compete against each other. He also questioned the fans. He asked if they'd like to see all the players, despite some of them choosing to go to a new league for more money. And well, we all know the answer. For the fans, this has never been a big issue. The matter is only problematic because the PGA Tour and LIV have become rivals. In fact, it's the PGA Tour that has refused to accept any other league to compete against its set standard. He also pointed out the fact that Augusta National has hinted at making modifications to the future invites depending on how the PGA Tour and LIV Golf solve the situation, or whether they come to an agreement about coexisting or not. It's possible that they'd make the qualification round much more difficult for the LIV golfers in the future, but banning them entirely seems unlikely. This is because the PGA Tour has strong connections and alignments with all the majors, specifically with the Augusta National Tournament. He also talked about how Greg Norman revealed that he's met with the Masters organizers to come to an agreement on forming an amicable relationship between the league and the Masters, and when he was asked about how it went, he said that it didn't go very well. So yes, we can expect some big changes to come for LIV in the future. And with this, it's time for us to wrap it up. What do you think about this video? Let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back with more amazing videos soon. See you in the next one.